Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is my 21 week update. 20th week update, not my 21st. And just when I was starting to think that I was having boring updates, they're starting to get a lot more interesting. So my weeks tick over on a Tuesday now. I think it used to be a Saturday, but every Tuesday I am the next week along. So it was in my 20th week where I told you guys I got diagnosed with oligohydramnios, which is low fluid, lots of scary risks and everything. So on Thursday night, so I had been, sorry, that was my 19-week update. Oh my gosh, this is my, my god, pregnancy brain turned 21 weeks. So yeah, this is about what happened in the 20th week. And there was a lot. So on Thursday night, I actually had a really good day Thursday. I was really productive. Ollie goes to daycare every Thursday and I cleaned a lot and was feeling really good, really positive. By about midnight, I was like, in bed, and Ollie woke up a little bit. I went and put his dummy in and then I went back to bed. He woke up again, so I picked him up and put him in bed with me, and then about 5 minutes later I was just about into dreamland and I felt like a gush and it was blood. So I went to the toilet straight away and I had soaked my underwear in blood, and obviously after hearing last week's news I was just like distraught and I was in shock, and I went down and told Reese and he's like, okay, we'll get hospital then, and I was like, yeah. And in my head I'm thinking, I'm losing this baby right now, like I'm losing this baby, this is happening, prepare as much as I can, and my head's just trying to process what's happening. We're on the phone to Reese's mum, on the phone to my mum, and it was just like very hectic. So we went straight to Reese's mum's and dropped Oliver off there, and that was all fine. We went to the hospital, we got seen quite quickly, and yeah, basically when they were doing actually it was before the speculum exam. I had to wait about 2 hours to be seen by the actual doctor, but once we were seen I just laid in a bed and had a pad on and everything, and I'm just like stressed out. We actually got to birth suite and there was a baby being born like right when we got there. It was so crazy because I'm there thinking like, wow, I'm losing my baby and there's a baby being born, and I was a bit upset. It was a bit hard to be around, babies when you think you're losing yours. The funny thing was I didn't have any pain or anything. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Oh, it is so glary today, guys. Like out there, that window like in front of me, behind you guys, is like, oh my god, it's so bright. The clouds are putting on a show. But yes, so had to wait 2 hours. In that time I did have more bleeding and it was like a really heavy period. So yeah, it was scary. And she did the speculum exam and I was looking at the roof the whole time. And then I saw the look on Reese's face and I was like, oh my god, what does that mean? And she said, there is a reasonable amount of blood here. Yes, there is a reasonable amount. And I was like, okay. My cervix was closed, so that was good. Anyway, she was like, okay, we'll do a couple of tests and blah, blah, blah. She said she thought it was a placental edge bleed. So that basically means the placenta, I'm not a doctor, so my, recollection of what I was told might be a little bit off because it's been a while. It's been a week today actually since this all happened. But she told me it's when the placenta, because the placenta's attached to the lining of the uterus. It's when it starts to like peel away a little bit and there's like blood vessels here and they burst and bleed. Because I have low fluid, my placenta is starting to come away from the uterus wall. But she wasn't sure, she just said that's what it looked like was happening. Baby was measuring, well, baby looked fine, the heart rate was fine at this stage. So yeah, she told me, okay, go clean yourself up, blah, blah. And I saw how much blood there was on the bed and it was like, wow, I'm exhausted, holy crap. It was like the end of like a single bed, like about this much, like it was a lot, and it's more than I've ever seen before, and I thought I was like gonna die. She actually told me that if I kept losing blood like that it could be fatal, like to me and the baby. So that was scary. Basically at this stage things didn't look good. I got admitted. They wanted to keep me in for 24 hours since the last bleed. I ended up bleeding again at 4 o'clock in the morning. I just had people coming in and like pricking me and prodding me and testing me and blah blah blah. Everything seemed okay. I was like, what's going on? Please tell me. I'm googling everything about like placental abruption. I couldn't find anything about a placental edge bleed. Everything was like placenta previa, but nothing about edge bleeding. And then like with my oligohydramnios and that, like they kind of bounce off each other. So like I could have low fluid because my placenta is not great, or I could have a bad placenta because of low fluid. And basically the placenta is, as most of you guys are pregnant or have had babies or want to have babies, the placenta is what feeds the baby, and like the baby gets everything from the placenta. The baby makes fluid from the placenta. I didn't actually know that. Yeah, everything that the baby is comes from that placenta. So if that placenta dies or fails or whatever, so does baby. So I stayed in for 3 nights, including that night, and I had a bit more bleeding. It was a bit spaced out, but then it ended up stopping and we got sent home. We got told that we needed to prepare for the worst, but that miracles do happen. So that's not really the kind of prognosis that you want to hear. Gosh, it's just crazy that I'm even talking about this. I just knew that I had to make this video because otherwise I would never make it. Just like with the last one, I was like, oh, this is such a negative video, and so is this one, but bicornuate uterus life. That's what it is. My uterus just doesn't like me. My body just doesn't like me. I just find it amazing that I had a perfect baby with, like, Ollie was perfect. And there's so many things going wrong. I still have a scan booked for the 19th of February at the Mater Hospital. But they can't really do anything because I'm not viable yet. I'm not viable until I'm 23 weeks. So I've got a while to go until they can actually intervene. But even then, like, they're giving me books about, you know, what to do in the case of when your baby has died. I don't know if I'm getting across how like serious it is, because I've got told so many times the baby has a very low chance of survival at this point. Either way, I'm gonna have to give birth to it. After 20 weeks, every birth is registered and everything. So we have to name the baby and everything like that. Really upset this week. Bit of a hard one emotionally this week. My bump looks the same as it's looked since Christmas. But I will show you guys and make that the thumbnail because that's what I plan on doing. Don't know how many more updates there's going to be. It's just really upsetting. I just think, like, why did I have to have this problem? Like, I haven't had anything wrong with me my whole life. I haven't had any weird problems happen to me. I haven't done anything. Like, I haven't done anything this pregnancy. Like, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't do anything like that. I eat so healthy, or I try besides the odd Maltesers, but I do everything, and they said it's not anything that I've done, it's just these things happen. And I had so many midwives come in and sit on the bed with me and touch my hand and say, are you okay? Like, it's gonna be okay. And it's like, I was in this ward with like all these new babies around me all the time screaming. Couldn't sleep at night because I'm around all these new babies and all these happy families that are blessed with their little babies, and I'm just there without my baby in this room of 4 people. I even had a dad say like, well, where's your little one? And I had to be like, oh, not ready yet. Like, what do you say? And then everyone in my family is like so supportive, and it's just like so hard because you don't know what to tell them. So yeah, and then I have this feeling of like, what if people find out, you know, people that don't really know me very well and think like, oh, she must have like done something wrong, or she must have done drugs, or this wouldn't have happened if she like did everything right. Like, but I can honestly say they've told me I've done everything right, but I just hate the thought of people thinking I'm incapable, or it's probably all in my head. But yeah, also before I got discharged, the baby's heart rate was dropping in and out. They can't do anything about it, and it's so frustrating because I say, well, what does this mean? And they just say, oh, well, it doesn't look good. Like, it's not a good sign. It's, you know, be prepared. we've got to decide if the baby's born around 23 or 24 weeks, if we want the doctors to resuscitate the baby, which means if we want them to intervene, or if we want to let the baby just pass away, because the baby would just pass away if the doctors didn't try to save the baby, because there's all these disabilities, and trying to get our heads around all these big decisions. I just pray, because I'm not prepared to mourn a child that I haven't even met. I'm not prepared to do that yet. So 26 weeks, there's a lot more hope. Just gotta make it through. Just gotta make it one day at a time. So that's like the big chunk of what's happened this week. I actually have been really sick the last day, not last night but the night before. I had vomiting all night, and I thought, oh god, this is going to be the start of something too. It's like a pre-labour sign, vomiting and cleaning your body out, and I lost a bit of my mucus plug, and I was like, oh my god, like it's going to happen. They told me it would happen sooner rather than later, but they just can't tell me if it's going to be a month or a week or a day. They just can't tell me anything, and they can't do anything. If it happens, it happens. And I got cramps, I got pain, I got like more pain now, and like I am a mess. I'm an emotional mess. Literally everyone's always messaging me like, are you okay? How are you going? Are you okay? Like, how's everything going? And I'm just like, I'm not going okay. What do you want me to say? I might lose my baby. And I try not to talk about it all the time because I don't want to be like a downer, especially to Reese, because I know that he doesn't want to like talk about it sometimes. I deal with things by talking about things. He doesn't. He's more of a withdrawer. I like to know everything. I like to know the worst case scenario and everything, and yeah, so that's that. Just feeling really exhausted, but like I lost a lot of blood, so all my blood tests came back fine. It's just a waiting game. We'll just wait and see if we make it to the next update. Hey, every week it's just gonna be, have I made it through the next week, and just pray that I do. It's obvious, like, how could a God exist when these things happen, you know? But then I still feel like I want to pray to like make sure, like, it's just so weird, like, and this just should not happen to me. These things don't happen to me. Anyway, I will chat to you guys next week for my next update. I'll show you my thumb. So I went out for breakfast this morning with Reese, so I probably look a bit bigger than I usually am, but that's that. Anyway guys, that's all for today's video. Thank you for listening. I feel like it's like a therapy session for myself sometimes, but yeah, thanks so much for all your love and support, and yeah, I'll catch you next week. Bye.